today's class. Today we have to continue the same chapter, that is mechanical properties of fluid. It is lecture 5. Of course, so far we have studied viscosity and related laws like Stokes law, Poiseuille's laws, etc. We have also seen what are the different types of flow of liquid, like streamline motion or turbulent motion, etc. And today we have to discuss continuity theorem and Bernoulli's theorem and their application. Before we discuss anything, because both these theorem, both these laws must require what we call a simple thing of ideal liquid. Let us see what is ideal liquid is. We have to take the points. Uh, it must be an incompressible. Okay, number two, it must flow with streamline motion. Remember, if what, for example, water, we take it as ideal liquid, but whenever it moves in, it flows in turbulent motion. During that time, we have not to follow any of the laws, that is Bernoulli's principle or continuity principle, like that. But otherwise, we can follow that. Therefore, streamline motion, when it moves, that means when water moves with velocity less than critical velocity, then we can consider, or it is moving with that velocity, not more than critical velocity. Then only we can consider that it is an ideal. नेक्स्ट इज इट मस्ट बी नॉन विस्कस, इसमें कोई भी रुकावट नहीं होनी चाहिए. देयर कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट को रखे तो इट डज नॉट फील एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ resistive force, any sort of friction type force within that liquid. If any such liquid is there where some like honey or glycerin or like this type of things are there, then they generally experience some sort of viscous force. विस्कॉस फोर्स अगर रहेगा तो वो लिक्विड आइडियल नहीं होगा. तो आइडियल लिक्विड के लिए क्या होगा, एक इनकम्प्रेसिबल होना चाहिए. इनकम्प्रेसिबल मतलब हर जगह उसका प्रेशर कांस्टेंट होगा. ये नहीं कि यहाँ पर प्रेशर एक है, यहाँ प्रेशर एक है, यहाँ प्रेशर एक है, ऐसा नहीं. हर जगह प्रेशर कांस्टेंट रहना चाहिए. दैट मीन दैट इज दे आर इनकम्प्रेसिबल. एक तो वो चीज बिल्कुल क्लियर है. और दूसरी चीज क्या है, इट मस्ट फ्लो विद स्ट्रीमलाइन मोशन. नंबर 3, इट मस्ट बी नॉन विस्कस. एक नंबर 4 भी कर सकते हैं, दैट इज दे मस्ट बी ट्रांसपेरेंट, totally transparent, because mostly if we take non viscous liquid, they may be semi transparent like honey, like there may be translucent honey or glycerin is totally opaque, and therefore fourth point must be that is transparent. Okay. The fourth point is transparent. That we have observed that these 4 points are there. Those liquid which follow all the 4 points, there may be other points also. We have to ignore that, but they are basic main important points. If any liquid follows all such 4 points, then they are your what we call ideal liquid. Okay. After discussing that, we have to move to the main topic, that is continuity theorem. What is continuity theorem? What is continuity theorem states? It is very simple, that you can very easily observe that it is a bottle, a horizontal bottle type something where both the sides are open. It is not exactly bottle because bottle has only one end open. Here both the ends are open. It is a pipe of different cross section, what we call, but it is placed horizontally, totally horizontally. Okay. And one side, from one side, liquid is an ideal liquid is allowed to enter, and from other side it is allowed to exit. It is allowed to come out. This is the basic thing about the pipe. Okay. Now, what happens? What is the law states? What is the principle states? That is, at every point in any pipe, whenever an ideal fluid or ideal liquid is allowed to flow, then we have the product of velocity and a cross-sectional area as constant quantity. That means we can say A into V equal to constant. For this point, A1 V1 equal to A2 V2. Whenever we have this situation for an ideal liquid, then that liquid is considered to follow this continuity theorem. Continuity theorem मतलब continuously liquid जाएगा और हर केस में उसका वॉल्यूम पर सेकेंड मस्ट बी कांस्टेंट. वॉल्यूम पर सेकेंड मस्ट बी कांस्टेंट को मतलब ये कह सकते हैं कि mass per second must be constant. So mass per second must be constant could not be directly stated, but rather it is considered to have the thing that how we exactly do. We just remove that portion that is what we call your density. Density of the same liquid is there. Density cancel out. We are left with only volume that is considered to be constant per unit time, of course. Let us see how we do. Uh, for proving this is proof. Let there be a liquid which is entering from the end X of a vessel, Ny, okay, and mass M1 is the mass of liquid entering the pipe per unit time. Entering the pipe per unit time. Okay, that means you are having M equal to this much, and then mass coming out per unit time means it is density into volume upon time. That means density and volume per unit time can be equal to your A1 B1. This is what you have your M1 is. Your M1 comes out to be rho A1 B1. Okay. After knowing this, then what we need, we have to take whatever mass enters, the same mass will be coming out. The same mass will be coming out also, and therefore, accordingly, we can say the mass of liquid coming out from other end of the pipe, that should be equal to how much? That should be equal to again density into volume coming out in unit time. That is equal to A1 over M2. A1, A2, A2, B2. This is the net mass of liquid which comes out from the pipe. So we have seen what the liquid enters into the pipe, what the liquid comes out from the pipe. Okay, two things are there. After having two things, then what we need to have that whatever mass enters, the same mass will come out. Therefore, M1 must be equal to M2, and in that way, rho A1 B1 equal to rho A2 B2. Ultimately, A1 B1 equals to A2 B2. This is the proof of our continuity theorem, and after proving this, we can very easily move to the now, when we discuss Bernoulli principle, it is just an extension of this continuity theorem. Here again, when an ideal liquid is allowed to pass through a pipe of unequal cross section or even non-vertical, non-horizontal pipe, then at each point of this pipe, the sum of pressure energy, kinetic energy, and potential energy per unit volume must be constant. Must be constant. I am repeating again. When a non-viscous and incompressible light liquid or transparent liquid or so-called ideal liquid is allowed to pass through a pipe of non-uniform cross section. Then at each point of the pipe, we have the sum of pressure energy, kinetic energy, and potential energy per unit volume, that is constant. Let us see what is the uh, definition. This is what we have definition. When a non-uniform, uh, non-viscous, incompressible liquid is allowed to flow through a pipe, then at each point of the sum, at each point, the sum of pressure energy, kinetic energy, and potential energy per unit volume must be constant. That we observe that how much it comes out to be. It is you can just observe it is equal to P plus half rho V square plus rho Gs equal to constant. This P stands for pressure energy, the energy per unit volume, of course, and this is kinetic energy per unit volume. This is potential energy per unit volume. The entire thing is constant. If they are constant, then how could we exactly derive this thing that we have to see? What is the steps of derivations? I am just doing from this side. You see, the liquid enters the pipe XY from it enters from point P point X with the pressure P1. It comes out with the pressure P2. The net work done in doing per unit time will be equal to how much? The work done due to the pressure difference. The net work done, net work done due to the pressure difference and unit time at unit time equal how much? P1 minus P2. P1 A1 B1 minus P2 A2 B2. By continuity theorem, we have already seen that they are almost equal. There is a volume per unit time. Volume per unit time, that means we can just write this is P1 minus P2 and this is volume per unit time means how could we write that is m upon rho. M upon rho. W equals to M upon rho. What is M? M is the mass of the liquid per unit time. Mass of the liquid flowing through the pipe per unit time, and rho is the density. M is the mass of liquid flowing in unit time. Flowing in unit time, and rho is the density. Rho is the density. So this is what we have here W. That is the net work done. After getting net work done, we are considering this to be constant or this to be fixed one, and then we have to move what are the change in kinetic energy, what are the change in potential energy, and of course all the masses are taken in unit time. Therefore, for that we have to keep that in mind. Change in kinetic energy per unit time. Their velocity was better, their velocity is less, therefore it is m v1 square minus v2 square. Okay, and this is mass per unit time again. What I said, change in potential energy, change in potential energy equal to again per unit time per unit time. It is mgh, mgh. Okay. This is a change in potential energy. That means we cannot directly write, but it will be like H2 minus H1. The difference in the mechanical energy will be equal to this work done, and naturally kinetic energy minus potential energy will be equal to this work done. That is the general method of solving this. The change in mechanical energy equal to half m v1 square minus v2 square minus m v h2 minus h1. Okay, this is what we have changed in mechanical energy, and by the general method, we know this change in mechanical energy must be equal to the work done. This is your delta E, and delta E must be equal to your work done. That is W equal to delta E and W equal to delta E. We can write P1 minus P2 into M by rho equals to half M V1 minus V2 whole square minus M G H2 minus H1. M and cancel out from both sides. We can very easily cancel out N and N, and we are left with P1 minus P2 1 by rho equals to this is half V1 square plus GH1 minus half V2 square minus GH2. Okay. Here two things are positive, two things are negative, and here also we have pressure as positive and this one as negative. And after having this state, then we can just rub the upper part. We can just note down the state because I am just repeating. I have not raised anything before I erase anything or I rub anything. Rub the board. Please note down, and then we just move to upper part by removing this, by rubbing this. What we get? P1 minus P2 1 by rho of V1 square plus GH1 minus half V2 square GH2. Clear? And then further clearing the board, we can get that we take 1 together, 2 together, then P1 by rho plus half uh, we have to consider this pressure to be in fact V2 is considered to be less, then here we have to take this as a pressure. This one must be greater. This one must be greater here. P2 minus P1 have to be here. And then what we did, then P1 plus half v1 plus half v1 square plus gx1 equal to p2 plus p2 plus p2 by rho plus g square by 2 gx2. Then what we have, we take multiply each term by rho, and v1 plus half v1 square rho plus rho gx1 equal to p2 plus half v2 square rho plus rho gx2. And this is what we have one knowledge principle all together, and we have just completed that. And I think with all the application will be taken in a separate video, and we have completed this all the theoretical part of the chapter. Now we will take only the application part. With that we have completed. I think you have enjoyed the video. Okay, thank you.